Have you ever had a gig in the centre of London? It's usually quite hit or miss. You can be lucky and drive straight in, or you can hit traffic and have an absolute nightmare. You've got to think about parking, ULEZ charges, loading in and hoping you don't get a ticket. We've been there and we finally think we've cracked the code to do it the best way possible for us. So last December, we played the very posh Corinthia Hotel and we saw a few celebrities there and had the absolute worst time ever loading into the venue. I managed to load in, park my car with 10 minutes to spare to sound check. We were so early as well, and I still only managed to have 10 minutes to sound check the entire band. You can watch that video here and all the kerfuffle that came with it. After all that faff that time round, I was just like, this time needs to be different. So this time we were playing a different area, which was actually arguably easier to drive into, but after the stress of last time, I was convinced there was a better way for us. Now, before I get into it, I really want to stress that London musicians have probably already got something nailed. This is probably for the musician that comes from out of town. We are from South Wales, so usually we're used to the luxury of just driving outside the venue and just loading in. Oh, this is going to be a long day. I've got a cold, but we crack on. So we came up with a plan. Step 1, suitcases. One suitcase would house all of our clothes and any bits and bobs that we would need. The second suitcase would house our mixer and all the leads and anything that we need to run the show. I will say, usually when we do play the centre of London, we have an AV team there with a PA system already. If there wasn't, then we would have to take our own PA and we would have to drive, so it would be tough then. Step 2 is travel. This has different levels to it because I was travelling from London the day after our London gig to go straight back to Cardiff to a gig that I was playing in Cardiff, so it was multifaceted. The first part of the travel was from Gavin's house to the Village Hotel, where we often leave our cars for overnight gigs. I left my car there and then jumped in with the boys. This way, after the London gig, the boys could just drop me back off at the Village Hotel and I could head straight into Cardiff without going too far off the M4, basically. Next was getting to London. So Josh, the bass player, drove us up to London, and I suggested actually parking in Osterley, which is just outside the congestion zone, and it's a very low stress drive, to be honest. Next is actually getting the tube.
Jack, I do that on the daily here.
So I done it. We made it. What no? Oh no.
It's now it's
It takes about 40 minutes to get into Piccadilly from Osterley, where we were getting off. Then it's a walk from there to the venue, which took about 10 minutes. This worked an absolute dream for us.
wow. Sweden.
Yeah,
Off the plate.
if we could downsize even more, we absolutely would, but that was the bare minimum we could take. The gig went well. I mean, we played some posh charity night. Priti Patel was caught dancing to us. See what you will about that, but for the most part, I mean, yeah, it's it can be really stressful, but we managed to do it with just bare minimum stuff. How are you feeling, Matt?
Tired.
Yeah. My right nose is the tiredest. Do you have any tips on gigging in big, large cities and trying to kind of downsize your rig to try and play shows? If you do, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you can subscribe to the channel, that'd be fantastic. But for now, take care and all the best.